This is Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence, a mobile game that's basically a console game but portable. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Now, what I'm going to be moving through from start to finish is the opening section, the character creation, the tutorial, and then a little bit more of some natural gameplay. One of the biggest things I had, I guess, worried about when I was reached out for this is mobile games tend to have, it's not about graphics or anything, but sometimes the controls can be a little bit clunky. But I'm happy to say not only is the cinematics, graphics, fluidity, and performance amazing, but the controls were actually very, very good, which is not something I could say lightly, but they were solid for a mobile game with a lot of little things that make them good. For example, your finger kind of working like a cursor, in the sense you can make your character look around just by tapping their head and moving it, felt very natural. The character customization itself is also pretty good. Quite a lot of options. I was able to customize my character to look like, a pretty cool survival dude. But yeah, here I'm just playing around with a few hairstyles. I personally like the apparel stuff the most. I like the basic cap that you're given, but you have a few different options. But after you're done, you get to choose your specialization. There's Demolitionist, Bulwark, Vanguard, as well as Field Medic, with a ton of different things. Now, I wanted to do Vanguard to be specific. You're the tip of the spear, access to advanced tech, so on and so forth. We're a Valorant channel first. It's the DPS. It's the DPS. That's the best way to put it. There's the Demolitionist, there's the Field Medic, and a few different things that give you different options that will alter your playstyle. But, like I said, we're the DPS players here, so that's what we're gonna be doing, Now, overall, the objective of the game is to experience the last line of defense in a vast open world. It's free to play, it's a AAA mobile game, and it's set in a post-apocalyptic New York City, as you can tell. Society's crumbling, your humanity's last line of defense in a viral pandemic-ridden scenario. So that gives you a good visualization of the world you're going to be playing in, and anyone who's played any Division will be kind of right at home here. I've played some Division, so I can comfortably say it translates very well, better than I thought, to mobile. That's my honest opinion. You're going to be unleashing tactical warfare in a cover-based shooter. It is a cover-based shooter. The cover system works well because not only do you have a cover button, but there's a few cool little tactics. Like there's a button for you to hop over the cover, or a button that will autopilot your character to the next cover, which is really good because it kind of circles me back to the whole mobile game control thing. Having something that helps you or assists you but makes it feel smooth, like you're pulling off something cool, is very important, and they do that very well here. A little side note about the controls, which will help me double down in this exact gunfight that I'm going to be showing you in the background here. For example, there's a moment I'm behind cover, and I'm able to use the free fire to fire in front of me, and it's not like a preset animation where my character will peek over the cover. Instead, because the other enemy is not in cover, I'm able to shoot at them while being covered with the enemy behind me. Look at here. Okay, so there's this enemy here, and then there's this one coming at me. I shoot forward and you can see my character doesn't look up, meaning I'm still in cover from the opposite angle. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. I rate that pretty good. Now, your other objective is to forge alliances and conquer the apocalypse. So you embrace the always social aspect of the game, playing up to parties of 4. So you can play with 4 other people, which, no offense, multiplayer is more fun. So I rate it. I like being able to squad up. It makes these games more enjoyable and just a lot more fun. You can join forces, meet fellow agents, and tackle challenging missions. The missions will obviously scale. Enemies will have more health, be more challenging, different little tropes. You'll see actually a mini boss fight later in this video, and I showcase how I take them down with some special moves. So that's the thing. There's a lot of tactical things, like my character has this little sonar thing that will then allow me to do additional damage. I can also throw a shield in front of me and then use it as cover. You can throw it while in cover and then use that autopilot system I said to go go up into the next one, which allows you to kind of change the battlefield in a tactical way, which is something, it's something I enjoy. I really like that. Furthermore, you delve into a rich lore and unravel the mysteries. So it does have an overarching story. I'm not showing you entire cutscenes. That's just because, one, it's not the most fun to watch cutscenes through a video when you can be experiencing it yourself. But as you can see,
he treated my husband. Experimental gene therapy.
They're good. They're very, very good. And they do unravel a clear story. I only just started playing the early parts, and it's extremely obvious. Like, you're not required to play any of the other Division installments to understand this story. They made it standalone, which is smart because it's a new platform, so they can expect a lot of people to try this game out. I mean, it's completely free, so I think a lot of people are going to try this game out. Why not? It's fun. You can play it on the go, so I think it's going to do pretty well. You can also uncover the truth behind the crisis of the plague, so it's kind of cool. You get to go back to its roots. You get to hopefully find out about Ground Zero. Again, I didn't get to that point, so I'm not going to go too in depth here because I'm not entirely sure, but apparently you do, which sounds like a W. And I've also been trying to show a wide variety of things in the background while keeping it limited to the early game because I don't want to spoil anything. You can see here I'm looting, which, you know, a lot looter shooter. A lot of people are going to love that, but they do make it simple. So here, let's say I found a new glove and it's better than the glove I have, so I can just hit equip and it'll automatically equip it, adjusting my stats, which is nice. Also, you can tell I was using a sniper. I love the snipers. I love snipers in games in general. I'm not going to lie. I was given this through a mission, one of the early missions. You're able to equip. You can swap between weapons. You find other weapons. You pick up enemy weapons, etc., etc., and they all fire, shoot, and feel different, which is the most important thing. The last thing you want is every gun you touch to feel the exact same, which is unrewarding. Not here. They do feel different. They do shoot different. They do play different, which I appreciate. I like how the sniper's one shot to the head, which I also appreciate. Makes it satisfying. Makes it very satisfying. Not gonna lie. Also, to touch a little bit on the fact right now, I'm playing on, this is solid 30 FPS. I didn't mess with the settings. I left it on auto. I didn't want to mess with the settings. Locked 30 FPS, the graphics quality on high. I'm playing on an iPhone 14 Pro Max. You can see it all in the bottom left. But it is a beta, and it is a disclaimer. It doesn't represent the final quality, so it'll most likely be even better than this, which is hard to believe because, I mean, look at this. I'm running down New York and I'm firing. It's kind of insane because, again, it's on a phone, right? So you might be seeing this blown up on a big screen, but when you're playing it on a small screen especially, it looks even sharper and even prettier, which makes sense, right? The smaller the screen, the denser all the pixels are, the better it looks. So like this, it already looks good. You can imagine when you're playing it yourself on your phone. So graphics and fluidity and controls are nailed down. That much I want to make super clear. There's also a day-night cycle with dynamic weather, which plays really nicely with the multiplayer part, right? You're grouping up with 4. Imagine dynamic weather. It starts raining on you, harder to see. It changes things up. Love that. Love that. That keeps things interesting. That's why. This is a little bit more on the loot system that you're seeing here, which I really like because your weapons can have talents, which adds another layer of depth into the combat. So there's not too much to complain about here. You also have a power score, which represents your overall combat effectiveness. I can see here like the damage I'll do, how much defense I have, etc., etc. This all comes because I picked up another gun, which cycles back to the thing I mentioned earlier. No one saw that whiff. I didn't miss anything. I'm a great aimer. Top tier. I'm Radiant. Okay, I'm Radiant in any game I play, not just Valorant. Want to mention that. Seriously though, the shooting feels super satisfying. I love the little crunch sound effects when you're headshotting someone. Does that sound weird? No. Gamers know what I'm talking about. Maybe it sounds weird to someone random, but that's the satisfying shooting is extremely important. There's a lot of indoors and outdoors, which is a reason I wanted to show this next scene because you guys saw nighttime New York early, then you saw daytime New York. Now I'm entering indoor battle, and it also leads to a little bit of a mini boss fight.
No, not now. I'm gonna go get myself a decent milkshake. You waste some, Carl. Bring me back their heads.
Well, and there's our boss. And you're going to notice in this fight's very important because I actually do take... So up till now it was kind of easy because they're teaching you the game. This is your first mini boss and he actually does a lot of damage and has a lot of health. So it's the first time it forces you to use the other buttons on your screen, which I like. Teach through gameplay. Teach through gameplay is something game developers should always be implementing, and they do it here. Give me a boss that all of a sudden the basics weren't working. I throw out my shield. It allows me to move forward here on cover, which I will show you. This was actually auto-pathed. So when I said move to that cover, it decided to go around, jump over, and land in front of it, which is really, really cool. Then the dude with the axe is now coming straight at me, goes like through the shield, and look at my health. Look, I'm like 67 HP, but it don't matter. Not 67 HP. I'm just taking a lot of damage at the bottom. You can see it there, but either way, we're still good for now. I pop a med, so it starts healing me over time, which is why I pop it. So even though I'm taking damage, you can see the ticks going up. So I start counteracting the damage I'm taking with that med pack. All right, now I gotta take out this boss. So I throw a grenade in front of it, hoping he's gonna walk into it. Luckily, I start spraying the headshot as he walks into it, doing a ton of burst damage and taking him down. So yeah, that's a good moment to kind of climax at the end of this to kind of showcase how when you start putting things together, the gameplay starts feeling very fluid. But I wanted to build up to this point so I can introduce things one by one. And All this again on a mobile game. I've said it more than once, but it's impressive. It's impressive. It's a mobile game. It's crazy how far things have come, and they're clearly showing it off very, very well. And the second best part, or maybe it's the best part, is that it's free. Gaming's becoming free, and this is included a AAA mobile game that you can play on the go with high quality graphics, great gameplay, and a ton of fluidity for free. So what are you waiting for? Use the link down below to pre-register today.